Lapit ka ng konti.
Yes.
Dito oh. So, processing of meat products at home will ensure production of hygienic, economical, and palatable products for our family, especially children in particular. This could also help augment the family income. So, pwede mo ding maging source of income. On the commercial side, this seminar is expected to help promote entrepreneurship. So, why meat processing? Actually, nung college ako, ang talagang gusto kong course is chemistry. Nasa may barkada ako na gusto niya, wag muna kaming maghiwalay sa first year ng college. Kasi wala pa daw kaming kilala, tatanga-tanga daw kami. Para daw hindi kami mukhang tatanga-tanga, may barkada kami. Sabi ko, di mag-BS Chem ka? Sabi ko gano'n. Ayaw niya kasi mahina daw siya sa chemistry. Hindi naman namin naisip na ang first 2 years is GE. So, kahit anong course mo, halos parehas lang ang subjects nyo. Ang first 2 years ng So, sabi niya, mag-botany muna tayo. So, nag-botany kami. Tapos, yung advisor ko, nung malaman niya nung high school ako, is valedictorian ako, ayaw na akong palipatin yung advisor ko. Ayaw akong palipatin. Sinusuhulan ako ng mga dissecting set, inililibre ako, mga drawing papers. Working student ako noon. Kaya, siyempre, malaking tulong sa akin yung ginagawa niya. So, hindi kami nakapag-shift agad. Tapos, third year kami, yung advisor ko, nag-doctorate sa abroad. So, nagkaroon kami ng opportunity na nagpaalam ako dun sa bagong advisor. Sabi ko, sir, mag-shift ako next sem. Umayag naman. Sabi, next sem, mag-shift. Ano na yun is? Third year, second sem, so very late na. Nung third year, second sem, nagpapapirma na kami ng pag-shift namin. Yung mga klase kong barkada ko, pinayagan agad. Tapos ako, ayaw kong payagan, sabi niya, nangako ko pala kay Doc Payawal na hindi ka mag-shift, sabi niya. Sabi ko, sir, pumayag na kayo, hindi ko na kinuha yung mga subjects ng botany. Sabi ko, marami na akong nasayang na oras. So, pumayag na siya. So, since very late na ako, kung mag-BBS Chem pa ako, naghanap ako ng course na maraming chemistry at maraming math, kasi yung dalawang yun ang gusto kong subjects. So, ang nakita ko is BS in Food Technology. So, mamimili ka ng masters. Meat processing, tapos yung microbiology, tapos mga fruits and vegetables, tapos mga ano pang ibang pinili ko ang meat processing kasi siya lang yung major na merong dairy science. And mahilig ako sa ice cream. So, bala kong pumasok sa Magnolia. Kaso, pero hindi ako sa Magnolia napapasok, sa Pure Foods, ganyan. So, nung resigned na ako sa Pure Foods, tapos nag-a-apply ako sa Magnolia, kasi dairy gusto ko talaga ice cream eh. Kaya nga ako nag-major sa meat processing. So, nung nag-a-apply ako sa Magnolia, nakita nila na part ng experience ko sa Pure Foods is prawn processing. Doon ako dinala sa Pampanga, sa prawn processing nila. Kaya hindi ako natuloy sa Pero nagkaroon ako ng experience ng dairy processing nung nandun na ako sa Daisy, sa Perpetual. Meron kaming ice cream making doon. So, yun, ko din. Pero hindi siya ganun kasi sinusuplayan lang namin is mga canteens ng Perpetual. Yung ice cream, yung soft ice cream, yun, kami nagsusupply. Yun, so why meat processing? Actually, ang gandang course ng meat processing. Kasi biro mo, yung mga fruits and vegetables, anong gagawin mo? Either drying mo lang, di ba noong time na yon, ang gagawin mo lang pagka mga gulay, either drying or iba-brine mo. So, napaka-limited. Samantalang sa meat processing, yun din isa na isip ko, sa karne ng baboy pa lang, ang dami mo nang magagawa. May bacon ka, may ham, may tocino, may longganisa. So, ang lawak ng ng scope ng meat processing. Diba? Sa sa baka. So, pwede kang gumawa corn beef, beef tapa. So, marami kang magagawang product sa karne. Yun. So, isa pa yun na-consider ko. Kaya, meat processing ang pinili ko kasi mas malawak ang scope. At sa pagdating naman sa nutrient value, better source of protein than plant foods. Yan. Tapos, marami siyang essential amino acids like vitamin B12. Yan. Mataas ang iron content niya. Yan. At saka yun, increasing ang demand. Hanggang ngayon, yung isang naging kasosyo ko dito, may study siya na hanggang ngayon, increasing ang demand sa processed meats. Hindi pa nasusuplayan ng talagang kumpleto. Increase in demand from the current annual production of 267 million tons in 2006 to nearly 300 to 20 million tons by 2016. So ngayon mas malaki. Hindi ko lang na-update to, pero may study yung isang kasosyo ko dati dito na increasing pa rin ang demand. Tapos, other measures must be taken to meet growing meat demand. So, yan. The only possible alternatives are making better use of the meat resources available and reducing waste of edible livestock parts to a minimum. So, mas maganda kung lahat ng parts ng animal ay nagagamit natin. So, actually sa nagagamit naman talaga sa meat processing kahit nga yung mga paa ng baboy, pickled pig's feet, mga ganon. So, nagagamit siya ng halos ng parts. Tapos mga intestines, ginagawang casing ng longganisa. This is where meat processing plays a prominent role. It fully utilizes meat resources, including nearly all edible livestock parts for human food consumption. So, there are economic, dietary, and sensory aspects that make meat processing one of the most valuable mechanisms for adequately supplying animal protein to human populations. As the following explains, optimal use of all edible livestock parts that are suitable for processing into meat products in addition to muscle trimmings, connective tissue, organs, and blood. Actually, ang blood nung nasa Pure Foods ako, may pinaggagamitan kami. This includes casings of animal origin that are used as sausage containers. Production of lower cost meat products. So, ayun, may option ka na gumawa ng mga premium at saka ng lower cost. Ganon. Lean meat is one of the most valuable but also most costly foods and may not be regularly affordable to certain population segments. So, yung mga yun kasi, yun pa, isang malawak sa meat processing. Yung iba, gusto premium. Mas mataas ang So, mas meaty yun. Pero yung iba na hindi nila kayang bilhin yung ganun kamahal, pwede kang gumawa ng mas mababang presyo. So, gagamitan niya ng mga extender. The blending of meat with cheaper plant products through manufacturing can create low-cost products that allow more consumers access to animal protein products. In particular, the most needy, children and young women from low-income groups can benefit from products with reduced but still valuable animal protein content that supply essential amino acids and also provide vitamins and minerals, particularly iron. Unlike fresh meat, many processed meat products can be made shelf-stable, which means that they can be kept without refrigeration, either as canned heat sterilized products, fermented and slightly dried products, products where the low level of product moisture and other preserving effects inhibits bacterial growth. So, yung inhibition ng moisture, doon pumapasok yung sa drying. Halimbawa, kung i-dry mo yung mga sa tapa, diba? So, mas matagal ang shelf life mo. Such shelf-life stable meat products can conveniently be stored and transported without refrigeration and can serve as the animal protein supply in areas that hindi ko mabasa. Meat processing adds value to products. Value-added meat products display specific flavor, taste, color, or texture components which are different from fresh meat. Such treatments do not make necessarily cheaper. On the contrary, in many cases, they become even more expensive than lean meat. But they offer diversity to the meat food sector, providing the combined effect of nutritious food and food with excellent taste. So, hindi naman laging yung iba, ang target is pababain yung price. Yung ibang mas gusto nila yung mas mataas ang price, premium, kasi quality yung hinahabol. Ikot-ikot mo, dagol, wag nakapokus lang sa isa. Principles, punta na tayo sa principles of meat preservation. Meat preservation prevents or delays meat spoilage that is principally caused by microbial, physical, and chemical changes. So, yan yung mga nagpo-cause ng spoilage ng meat products o sabihin natin kahit yung ibang food products. So, ang unang-una is microbial, pag tumaas yung microbial load, tapos physical, halimbawa, na adulterate siya, nasamahan mo ng ibang hindi dapat na ingredient, tapos chemical changes, so ganun din siya kung merong hindi dapat na or kung merong mga oxidation na nangyari, ganun. Any method that can contradict the forces of meat deterioration is a good preservation method, but its application to meat must be done as soon as possible. So, halimbawa, nagpa-process tayo, yung iba, ang nasa isip nila, kung pinipreserve mo, okay lang gumamit ng pangit na karne. Halimbawa, yung mga masin na, yung medyo hulas-hulas na yung kulay, medyo may amoy na, akala nila, kung gumagamit ka ng preservative, okay lang na gumamit ng pangit na karne. Pero actually, dapat nagsisimula tayo sa magandang quality ng karne. Kasi, meat deteriorates very fast under normal room condition. So, it is very important to start with fresh and good quality meat since once meat has started to deteriorate, no amount of preservation technique could alter that condition. So, sabihin mo siya, nag-green na, pinreserve mo pa, hindi sira pa rin yung magiging produkto mo. So, importante na nagsisimula ka sa fresh meat. Halimbawa, maganda yung, bumili ka halimbawa sa grocery or supermarket, di ba, maganda yung temperature nila doon. So, kumbaga nalo-lower nila yung microbial load, namimintay nila na mababa yung microbial load. So, pag magsisimula ka sa mababang microbial load, mas maganda yung magiging quality ng finished product mo. Whereas, halimbawa, bumili ka sa palengke, hapon na. Tapos, medyo may amin-amin na. So, ang pangit na rin ng magiging quality ng finished product mo. At saka, mas madali siyang masisira since nagsimula ka sa mataas na microbial load. Diba? Halimbawa, nagsimula ka sa count 15 versus count 100. Alin mas mabilis masisira, diba? Yung marami ng mataas na yung count ng bacteria or microbes. Among the forces of meat spoilage, the microbiological forces are the most common and significant and will be our principal concern since microorganisms cause 99.9% of the deteriorative changes in meat. Yun, pinaka-concern talaga sa food processing or meat processing is yung microbial effect. Ganon. Bihira kasi yung talagang nagsisimula sa microbes ang majority ng deterioration. Microbes thrive well in moisture And since meat is 70 to 75% water, it easily spoils through microbial action. Meat also contains abundant nutrients required for the growth of microorganisms, and as such, is an excellent media for microbial proliferation. So, kumbaga, pag mas mataas ang nutrient content, mas nutritious ang pagkain, marami siyang nutrients. Kumbaga, nutrients para sa tao, nutrients din para sa microorganisms. Oo. Nutrients din nila yun. So, kumbaga, magiging ng growth nila yun. Mas mag-grow sila. Ang growth sa microorganisms, hindi ka pari sa tao o sa hayop na lumalaki tayo. Ang growth ng microorganisms is multiplication. Dumadami sila. Methods of meat preservation, however, different from each other are alike in that they employ environmental conditions that discourage the growth of microorganisms. Microorganisms are like animals. They do not grow unless all their requirements are met. So, ganun. Kumbaga tayo, pag wala tayong calcium, yung mga bones natin apektado. Or kung may kulang tayong nutrient, stunted yung growth natin. So, yung microorganisms, ganun din. I-hinder mo ang isa. Halimbawa, temperature requirement. Ang kailangan niya, normal room temperature. Nilagay mo siya sa freezing condition. Mag-i-stop ang growth niya. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na nag-stop ang growth niya is napatay mo siya. Kumbaga, nag-stop lang.
Na-slow down mo.
Na-slow down mo siya. Ganun. Pagka binigyan mo siya ng conditions na favorable para sa growth niya, mag-grow ulit siya. Ganon. So, growth inhibition can be achieved by withholding one, two, or all the required conditions for growth, namely temperature requirements, moisture content, nutrient content, and oxygen requirements. So, may mga microorganisms na oxygen loving, meron namang mga oxygen hating. So, halimbawa, yung mga oxygen loving, nilagay mo sa ang tawag din sa packaging na walang hangin, yun sa vacuum. Diba? So, binacuum seal mo siya. Hindi siya mag-grow doon. Pero kung siya ay nag-grow sa yung anaerobic microorganisms. So, ibig sabihin, ang aerobic microorganisms, ibig sabihin, kailangan niya ng oxygen for growth. Anaerobic microorganisms, hindi niya kailangan ng oxygen for growth. So, kung binacuum seal mo siya, ay yun ang favorable condition sa kanya, mas mag-grow siya. So, doon pumapasok yung Clostridium botulinum kasi anaerobic ang Clostridium botulinum. So, kailangan natin gumamit ng preservative na against Clostridium botulinum, lalo na kung gumagamit tayo ng vacuum packaging.
Botulism yun, no?
Botulism. So, majority of the present-day preservation techniques are based on this principle. The two other common causes of meat deterioration or spoilage are enzymatic action and atmospheric oxidation. So, enzymes are protein substances that help to speed up chemical reactions. So, minsan present sila dun sa ating mga ginagamit or sa ating raw material. So, under favorable conditions, may speed up yung reaction. However, since processed meats are commonly subjected to temperatures that inhibit the activity of the meat enzymes, this is not commonly felt in the meat industry. So, hindi threat ang enzymatic action kasi kalimitan, ang temperature na ginagamit natin mababa. Hindi favorable para sa enzymatic action. Pero once na in-expose mo siya sa mataas na temperature, so magkakaroon ng enzymatic action. Meat fats are susceptible to oxidation. So yung mga taba ng baboy, taba ng baka, mas susceptible sila sa oxidation. when they are exposed to the molecular oxygen present in the air. This results in the production of a strong rancid flavor and odor. So alam mo yun, yung maanta, which we commonly refer to as maanta. Di ba yung mga taba, mga mantika, sila yung mabilis umanta kasi mas mabilis silang ma-oxidize. May mga points for oxidation sila. For rancidity to develop, light, air, and free fatty acids must be present. So, kita mo, rancidity magde-develop lang kung present ang light, present ang air, at saka yung fatty acids. So, kung wala kang light, kahit na present yung fatty acids mo, hindi magde-develop ang rancidity. Kung wala ka din oxygen, hindi rin magde-develop ang rancidity. If one of these is missing, rancidity does not occur. While the entry of light and air can be prevented by the use of proper packaging materials and techniques, like vacuum packaging, free fatty acids easily form from the meat fats. That is why antioxidants are commonly used. These are compounds which react with certain intermediate products necessary for the development of free fatty acids, thus delaying the oxidation of fats. The two most common antioxidants used in the meat industry are sodium erythorate and ascorbate or ascorbic acid. So yung vitamin, halimbawa wala kang mabiling sodium erythorate, yung vitamin C or ascorbic acid ay pwede mong i-replace sa sodium erythorate para mag-act as antioxidant. Para ma-prevent ang rancidity.
Wala naman siyang reaction sa taste mo?
Wala. Kasi ang liit lang ng level ng usage. Halimbawa sa isang kilong karne, 0.5 gram lang. 500 milligrams lang. So yung isang capsule ng vitamin C, good for 1 kilo ng meat.
Okay. Para ma-prevent niya yung rancid na lasa. Ang galing.
So, methods of meat preservation. Number 1 is salting. So, ito yung pinaka-lumang method of meat preservation. A simple method of dehydration. Ibig sabihin ng dehydration, natatanggal mo yung moisture. So, may ano ang salt na natatanggal niya yung moisture. In which the salt causes the withdrawal of water from the tissues of the meat and the spoilage organisms, resulting to shriveling and inactivation of the cells. So kahit yung microorganism na kukuha ng salt yung moisture sa microorganisms, kaya hindi sila makagrow. Tapos doon din sa product na, di ba, pag ang dami ng asin, may drying effect, nada-dry siya.
Nawawala yung dugo, nawawala yung tubig mo.
Moisture, oo. Yan.
Preservation din siya.
Oo. Number 2, ito pa. Chemical aspects of salting. The water holding capacity of meat can be increased with the addition of salt up to a concentration of about 5% in the lean meat and then decreases constantly. Kasi ang bukod dun sa sinasabi natin na preservation effect niya, ang effect ng salt sa meat processing is ini-increase niya yung water holding capacity ng product mo. Pero up to 5% lang. Beyond 5%, hindi na siya magiging effective. Useless na siya. So, hindi dapat masyadong maalat yung product din para maganda yung kanyang water holding capacity.
Okay.
Yan. At a concentration of about 11% in the meat, the water binding capacity is back to the same level as in fresh unsalted meat. So, pag nag-11% ka na, useless na yung asin mo kung ginamit mo siya as water holder ng product mo.
Parang binder mo.
Oo, binder. Kaparis ng mga casing, 11% ang ginagamit na asin doon sa mga casing para hindi sila mag-deteriorate. Sodium chloride has only a very low capacity to destroy microorganisms. So, actually, sodium chloride or yung asin, mababa lang ang capacity niya para i-destroy yung microorganisms. Ang effect niya talaga is yung kanyang yung capability to bind water and to deprive the meat and the microorganism of moisture. Yun, tinatanggal niya yung moisture na available sa microorganisms. Kaya, nakaka-preserve siya. The water loosely bound to the protein molecules as well as the free water will be attracted by the sodium and chloride ions, causing a reduction of the water activity of the product. This means that less water will be available and the environment will be less favorable for the growth of microorganisms. Bacteria do not grow at a water activity below 0.91, which corresponds to a solution of 50 grams sodium chloride per 100 ml water. So, it is then 15%. Ano sabi niya? Or about 15% salt in the product. This explains how salt has its preservative effect. Such salt concentrations, up to 15%, are too high for palatable food. So, hindi siya masarap. Kasi sobrang arit na siya pagka yung 15%. However, for the preservation of natural casings, this method is very useful. So, yung mga casings, ginagamit dyan, 11% to 15% salt. Kasi tinan mo yung casing, kahit isang taon siya dyan, so, bumili ka ng, pag naglolongganin sa kanan, halimbawa, bumili ka ng casing ng mga imported, ibibigay sa'yo salted.
Yung
Yan, kapalis yung gagamitin natin ngayon, salted. Hindi namin nire-refrigeration, kahit isang taon hindi siya masisira. Kasi ang taas ng salt content. Yan. So, number 2, second method of meat preservation is curing. Curing is the application of salt, sugar, nitrites, and other preservatives and adjuncts to prolong the keeping quality of the product and produce the desirable pink color associated with cured meats. It is the nitrates that play the role in color fixation. So, yung reaction ng nitrite sa myoglobin ng meat, yun ang nagpo-produce ng pink color.